All right, hi guys, I'm back with another video, and I apologize for taking so long to get this one done, but I've really been under the weather for several days and I didn't have much of a voice. I'm still not feeling too good, but hopefully I can make it through this video. And you can see the title that I'm giving this, Winter Has Begun. As I said in my last video, there was a pattern flip coming, and this pattern flip is basically initiating the beginning of winter, and that pattern flip has happened as of today. Before I get into that, though, I want to remind you, if you haven't joined my pro site yet, I really invite you to do that. You'll get lots of extra information there regarding the weather of the Ohio Valley. You can join at www.patreon.com/Ohio Valley Weather. Well, this is a map for today. And as you can see, most of the state of Ohio is expected to see a wintry mix of rain and snow today. And if you watched Ohio State earlier playing football today, you saw it snowing there in Columbus. And that snow is now spreading across the Ohio Valley. And again, this is the beginning of this pattern flip that really is the beginning of winter for the Ohio Valley. This is the temperature anomaly map for tomorrow. And you can see nearly the entire country is going to be looking at temperatures that will be well below normal. In some cases, near 20 degrees below normal. In the Ohio Valley, though, we'll be looking at temperatures in the range of 5 to 10 degrees below normal by tomorrow. And then as the next few days go on, even colder temperatures will be spreading into the Ohio Valley. And of course, if you look at what NOAA is saying, this is NOAA's 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. And so they are forecasting below normal temperatures for nearly the entire country, all but down here in Florida. And this is through November 21st on their 6 to 10 day. But then if you also look at the 8 to 14 day forecast, it looks pretty much the same, with below normal temperatures being forecasted all the way through November 25th. And the primary reason for that is what we're seeing happen with the Arctic Oscillation. So remember, the Arctic Oscillation is a measure of the strength of the polar vortex. And when the polar vortex is positive, that means it's strong and it's going to hold the Arctic air up in the Arctic Circle where it belongs. But when the Arctic Oscillation goes negative, that's a sign that the polar vortex is weakening. And when it does that, you get this wavy polar jet stream that ends up pulling colder air down into the lower latitudes, which in many cases could include the Ohio Valley. And as you can see, we're expecting now the Arctic Oscillation to go negative next week around the 15th. That's going to be next Tuesday, the 15th. The Arctic Oscillation will go negative, and we're going to start seeing even colder temperatures dipping down into the Ohio Valley and generally the whole United States, as I showed on that map a minute ago. And if you look ahead, look at this graph going all the way out to February. You can see the Arctic Oscillation is expected to be mainly negative for the entire winter. And those of you that watched my first video about this winter, this is one of the reasons why I'm expecting that for most of the winter, we are probably going to be looking at temperatures that will be below normal. So now this is the jet stream pattern for today. This is taken from the CFS model. And actually, this is what is being projected for Wednesday. Now notice this says Wednesday 11:16:0Z. So that's 0Z Zulu time. On our time, this would actually be Tuesday evening. Now remember what I just said about the Arctic oscillation. That Arctic oscillation is supposed to go negative around the 15th. And you can see here that the CFS model is picking up on that. And you can see that the polar jet stream is expected to dip way down into the southern part of the country and then come back up into the east, right into the Ohio Valley. And at the same time, you can see down here, this is the subtropical jet stream, and it's pulling in warm water from the Pacific Ocean, and it's going to pull that moisture right across the south. And you can see here the two jet streams, the polar and subtropical jet streams, are expected to merge. And when that happens, you have this merging of moist, warm, moist air merging with cold Arctic air, and that results in snow, and sometimes a lot of snow. And you can see right where these are coming together all the way up into the Ohio Valley, and I would expect this to continue up into the Northeast. We're going to see snow next Tuesday into Wednesday morning. That would be November 15th through the 16th. And just speaking of that, this is from the NAM model, the North American model, and this is for Wednesday the 16th. And you can see that that system, here's all that warm, moist air being pulled right into the cold Arctic air. And this is looking like a pretty significant snowfall for not only the Ohio Valley, but especially into Pennsylvania. And then this is going to push further towards the Northeast. And so New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, the New England states, all the way up into Maine, I'm expecting that they're going to see a decent snow next Wednesday. Also, you should notice the red in here. Remember that red there would indicate freezing rain. And this could be a pretty significant ice storm for the locations that see that freezing rain. So that's another thing, another thing that we'll have to keep an eye on. So now I wanted to just point this out again. This is the same graph I showed you already. Notice again, we're going to see the Arctic oscillation go negative around the 15th. But then I want you to notice what would happen the next week. Now, this would be into the week of Thanksgiving. It's looking like the week of Thanksgiving, we could see the AO go sharply negative. And this is another reason why I am still thinking that during that week of Thanksgiving, we could be looking at a pretty significant snow. Now, the only thing is, though, as the AO goes more and more negative, that means that colder air is going to push further and further south. And so it is possible that if there is a snow, as I'm expecting, it could miss the Ohio Valley and go south of us. But it remains to be seen yet. But I still think somebody's going to get a decent snow there during the week of Thanksgiving. So again, I hope you like this video. Again, if you haven't joined my pro site, I invite you to do that. You can join at www.patreon.com/Ohio Valley Weather. Thanks. See you next time.